Welcome back, dear students. In today's video, let us discuss the topic thyroid gland. As we all know, in the body of a vertebrate, two types of glands are present, that is endocrine glands and exocrine glands. Endocrine glands are the glands without ducts. So that's why endocrine glands are commonly called ductless glands. Hence, they release their secretions directly into the blood. Hence, they are called endocrine glands, and secretions of endocrine glands are called hormones. Whereas exocrine glands, these are the glands provided with the ducts. So with this it is very clear, in the body of a vertebrate, two types of glands are present, namely endocrine glands, which are otherwise called ductless glands. Exocrine glands are the glands with ducts. And today's topic is thyroid gland. Thyroid is one of the most important endocrine gland, and thyroid is the largest endocrine gland. So in the human body, we have endocrine glands like pituitary, pineal, adrenal, thyroid, etc. Out of all these endocrine glands, largest in size, that is thyroid gland, and this thyroid is a bilobed gland. Means thyroid gland is made up of two lobes, and two lobes of the thyroid gland are present ventral to the larynx in the neck region. So simply speaking, what is the location of thyroid gland in the human body? It is present in the neck region ventral to the larynx. How many lobes are present in the thyroid gland? Two lobes are present in the thyroid gland, and two lobes of the thyroid gland are connected by a bridge, and this bridge which connects two lobes of the thyroid gland is called isthmus. So this is the structure and location of the thyroid gland. Let me repeat. Thyroid is an endocrine gland. It is the largest endocrine gland in the human body. It is a bilobed gland. Two lobes are present on ventral to the larynx in the neck region, and the two lobes are connected by a bridge called isthmus. And when we look into the two lobes of the thyroid gland, two lobes of the thyroid gland appear like wings of a butterfly, and these two lobes are connected by a bridge called isthmus. So altogether, thyroid gland broadly appears like a butterfly. Hence, thyroid gland is also called butterfly gland. When we look into the anatomy, so I said two lobes are present in the thyroid gland. Let me consider the section of one lobe. Each lobe of the thyroid gland is made up of many small balloon-like structures, and these are called thyroid follicles. So each lobe of the thyroid gland is made up of many number of small balloon-like structure called thyroid follicles, and these thyroid follicles are lined by cuboidal epithelial cells. So students should understand, I have represented section of one lobe of the thyroid gland. Each lobe is made up of many small balloon-like structure called thyroid follicles, and follicles are lined by simple cuboidal epithelial cells, and these thyroid follicular cells produce two iodine containing hormones, and these two iodine containing hormones are called T3 and T4. So students should remember, thyroid follicular cells, structurally they are simple cuboidal epithelial cells which produce two iodine containing hormones which are named as T3 and T4. So T3 stands for triiodothyronine. T4 stands for tetraiodothyronine. As we all know, if I ask you the simple question, What is the important hormone produced by thyroid gland? You say it is thyroxine. But which hormone is exactly called thyroxine? That is T4. So students should remember. What is the chemical name of thyroxine? Tetraiodothyronine, and it is produced by thyroid follicular cells. And in between the thyroid follicles are present another cells called parafollicular cells. These parafollicular cells of the thyroid gland produce a non-iodine containing hormone which is called calcitonin. So with this, students should remember, whenever we look into hormones of the thyroid gland, importantly you have to remember two. That is thyroxine, which is produced by thyroid follicular cells. In between the thyroid follicles are present clusters of cells called parafollicular cells. Parafollicular cells produce a non-iodine containing hormone called calcitonin. As I said, parafollicular cells of the thyroid gland produce a non-iodine containing hormone called calcitonin. And if you ask me what is the function of calcitonin, calcitonin always helps lowering the calcium levels in ECF. So this is the main function of calcitonin. So students should remember, calcitonin always help lowering the calcium level in the blood or in the ECF. So students should understand, whenever blood calcium level increases in our blood, calcitonin level also increases, and this calcitonin sends extra calcium from the blood into the bones and muscles so that blood calcium level comes to normal. So that is the main function of the calcitonin. So simply students should remember, calcitonin is the hormone responsible for lowering the blood calcium level. Hence it is commonly called hypocalcemic hormone. Name itself indicates, as it helps lowering the blood calcium level, it is commonly called hypocalcemic hormone. So with this it is very clear, calcitonin is the hormone produced from parafollicular cells of the thyroid gland. It helps lowering the calcium levels in ECF and the blood. That's why it is called hypocalcemic hormone. As I said, the thyroid follicular cells, which are made up of simple cuboidal epithelium, produce the two iodine containing hormones. These two iodine containing hormones are T3 and T4, which stands for triiodothyronine and tetraiodothyronine. Actually, out of these two, T3 is the most effective hormone, but T3 is produced in very negligible amounts. And when compared to T3, T4 is produced in the more amount. So that's why T4, that is tetraiodothyronine, is considered as thyroxine, which is the most important hormone of the thyroid gland. And let us look into the most important functions of the thyroxine. So thyroxine influences oxygen consumption by the body cells. By influencing oxygen consumption by the body cells, it influences the basal metabolic rate. So with this it is very clear how much amount of energy has to be produced by a cell. It always depends on what? Rate of cellular respiration. If the rate of cellular respiration has to be normal, oxygen consumption and oxygen availability also should be normal. So with this it is very clear, if a cell is unable to consume enough oxygen, it cannot produce required amounts of energy. So thyroxine directly influences the amount of energy produced by a cell. Because of that reason, thyroxine is popularly called calorigenic hormone. And students should remember an extra point. It is the hormone which influences the process of metamorphosis in lower vertebrates like frogs. If you remember, frog larva is called tadpole. When tadpole has to undergo metamorphosis to become an adult frog, in the body of tadpole, enough amounts of thyroxine has to be produced. If in the body of tadpole thyroxine deficiency is there, tadpole fails to metamorphosis into adult frog. Without metamorphosis into adult frog only, tadpole attains the sexual maturity. That phenomena is called neoteny, and such type of adults are called pedomorphic adults. Like if the question is asked, in the frag tadpole, if thyroxine deficiency is there, what is the consequence? It results in a phenomena called neoteny, where larva fails to metamorphosis into adult. Without metamorphosis only, larva attains the sexual maturity. That is an extra point students should remember. So here are the important functions of thyroxine. By influencing oxygen consumption by the body cells, it directly influences the amount of energy produced. Because of that reason, thyroxine is popularly called calorigenic hormone. Now let us look into the problems associated with hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. It is very clear whenever we talk about hormones. So actually hormones are the messenger molecules which are produced in trace amounts, like they are produced in nanograms and picograms, but still as a rare abnormality, sometimes the amount of hormone produced may be less than normal. We use the word hyposecretion of the hormone. If the amount of hormone produced more than normal, that is said to be hypersecretion of the hormone. So now let us look into the problems associated with low secretion of thyroid hormones, that is hypothyroidism, or over secretion of thyroid hormones, that is hyperthyroidism. First, coming to the problems associated with hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism in children. So hypothyroidism in children results in a condition called cretinism, and students should remember. So cretinism is the condition or the problem caused due to low secretion of thyroxine in children. And if you remember, thyroxine is the hormone which influences basal metabolic rate, protein synthesis, etc. So that's why in the childhood, if any child suffers from low secretion of thyroxine, in that child both physical and mental growth are retarded, skin becomes puffy, and that child is going to develop into sterile, and he also suffers problems like thick lips, enlarged tongue, etc. So all these are the symptoms of a problem called cretinism. So students should remember, cretinism is the result of hypothyroidism in children. And what are the important symptoms? Both physical and mental growth are retarded, skin becomes puffy, so lips become very thick, and tongue becomes enlarged, and that affected child is going to be sterile, and that affected child is said to be a cretin, and this condition is called cretinism. Next, myxedema. Myxedema is otherwise called Gall's disease. Hypothyroidism in adults. Hypothyroidism in adults results in a condition called myxedema. Name itself indicates. In this condition, mucus gets accumulated in the subcutaneous layers, because of which skin becomes puffy. So mental growth is going to be retarded. So person develops low tolerance to cold. Even mental growth is not normal, and these are some of the important symptoms of myxedema. So myxedema is the result of what? Hypothyroidism or low secretion of thyroxine in adults results in a condition called myxedema. Main symptom of myxedema is formation of puffy skin, retarded growth, and low tolerance to cold, etc. are the important symptoms of this. So these are the two problems associated with hypothyroidism, that is low secretion of thyroxine. So low secretion of thyroxine hormone in children results in a condition called cretinism, whereas low secretion of thyroxine in adults results in a condition called myxedema. And coming to one of the most important problems associated with thyroid malfunctioning, it comes under hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism results in a condition called exophthalmic goiter. Exophthalmic goiter is also called Graves' disease. So here students should remember, exophthalmic goiter is an autoimmune disorder. So here students should understand, actually excess secretion of thyroxine is the rarest case, but why the thyroxine production becomes more? It is very clear. In the body of a human, due to an autoimmune problem, unwanted antibodies are produced, and these antibodies will go and bind with the thyroid follicular cells. Now the thyroid follicular cells become overstimulated. On overstimulation, they keep on producing unwanted or extra amounts of thyroxine, and it results in a serious problem called exophthalmic goiter, in which mucus gets accumulated behind the eyeballs. Due to the accumulation of mucus behind the eyeballs protrude out of the orbits, and this condition is called exophthalmic goiter. It is otherwise called Graves' disease, and students should remember, it is an autoimmune disorder. So these are the two important problems associated with what? Hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. Hypo, less secretion of thyroxine than normal in children causes a condition called cretinism. In adults, it results in a condition called myxedema, whereas hyperthyroidism results in a condition called exophthalmic goiter, which is also called Graves' disease. And students should remember, exophthalmic goiter is an example for autoimmune disorder. And finally, when we look into a common problem, that is simple goiter. So always in competitive exam, students confuse with this question. If the question is asked, what is simple goiter? What is simple goiter? It is the problem caused due to iodine deficiency in the food. It is not because of hyposecretion of thyroxine or hypersecretion of thyroxine. It is the problem always associated with what? So low availability of iodine in the food, because iodine acts as raw material for. So iodine acts as what? Raw material for the synthesis of thyroxine. So whenever a person suffers deficiency of iodine in the food, that person is more likely to suffer from a condition called simple goiter. In simple goiter, what happens? Size of the thyroid follicles increases abnormally, because of which in the long run, thyroid lobes itself are subjected to enlargement, and which causes abnormal swelling in the neck region. So this abnormal swelling in the neck region due to enlargement of the size of thyroid lobes is called simple goiter. And this simple goiter is observed in various places throughout the world, where people feed on the diet which is deficient of iodine. As their diet is naturally deficient of iodine, all those people of that particular area are more likely to suffer from simple goiter. So simple goiter is confined to particular areas in the world. That's why it is also called endemic goiter. If you remember, we use the word endemic. Endemic always says that anything which is confined to a particular area is called endemic. So this disease, that is simple goiter, is also not observed throughout the world. It is observed in some particular areas of the world, particular belts of the world. That's why simple goiter is also called endemic goiter. So students must have this clarity. Simple goiter is caused due to what? Deficiency of iodine in the food, which causes abnormal swelling in the neck region due to enlargement of the thyroid lobes, and simple goiter is commonly observed in particular parts of the world. That's why it is also called endemic goiter. So this is the detailed information of the largest endocrine gland of the human body, that is thyroid gland. Let me repeat. Thyroid is also called butterfly gland. What is the location of thyroid gland? It is present in the neck region. Two lobes of the thyroid gland are present ventral to the larynx, and the two lobes are connected by a bridge called isthmus. Each lobe is made up of many small balloon-like structure called thyroid follicles. Thyroid follicular cells are made up of cuboidal epithelium. Thyroid follicular cells produce iodine containing hormones, that is T3 and T4. So T4 is popularly called thyroxine, and in between the thyroid follicles are present parafollicular cells which produce a non-iodine containing hormone called calcitonin, which is popularly called hypocalcemic hormone. So hope you understand what is thyroid gland and what are the functions of thyroid hormones, what are the problems associated with hyposecretion of thyroid hormones and hypersecretion of thyroid hormones. Thank you.